Hello, everybody, and welcome to Never Seen It. This is a podcast about movies that we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm sitting here with Betsy.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween to everybody, almost.
I have to say it now because this episode will be before Halloween, and then we will have moved on from Never Scream It by the time Halloween comes and goes.
Exactly. Everybody pulls down all their Halloween decorations and immediately puts up their Christmas shit because there is Thanksgiving erasure happening, and I will not stand for it.
No, Thanksgiving is a fabulous holiday. We have spoken at length about this, you and I do not understand the overwhelming need to just jump straight to Christmas.
Speaking of jumping straight to it, if you want to hear us talking about holidays, literally we put up an episode in October this month about holidays on our Patreon. That is, of course, patreon.com/neverseenitpod. Getting the plug out of the way early.
You can hear me rant about this topic
That's
at
right.
length.
That's right. Anyway, we're still in Never Scream It. As of today, it is almost Halloween. And Betsy, every single Never Scream It, we have to do a classic horror movie. I think last year we did The Exorcist, which, by the way, we didn't really like all that much. Go listen to that episode from last year if you want to hear about it. But yeah, every single year we're going to have to cover a classic. This is a Stephen King book. We actually covered a Stephen King book movie on another podcast. We covered The Shining over on What a Picture, the podcast, which, hey, if you follow us on social media, we posted all about it. And we kind of said, hey, it's a faux Never Seen It episode because I had never seen The Shining at the time. So go check those guys out. They're really fun. Anyway, but today we're going to be covering the movie Carrie, the original 1976 movie. Betsy, I have seen a little bit of this movie. I feel like I have started it. I got maybe halfway through it. It's also possible that I've actually seen the entire thing. I don't remember it.
You're one of those people that forgets movies immediately, especially if it didn't have a lot of impact.
I do. So this is also probably back when I wasn't really paying that close attention to movies. It came out in the 70s, so it doesn't look very good. I don't know. But I know you haven't seen this movie for sure.
I have not seen 1 minute of this movie outside of the clips that they show anytime someone mentions this movie.
Okay. So what do you know about it?
Well, here's the thing. I've never actually seen this version, but I have seen a version of Carrie.
Okay.
Back in the, I want to say 2000s, there was a made-for-TV like movie or mini series. Maybe it was on NBC. I'm not really sure. But it was one of those things that was on. I hadn't really planned on watching it, but there wasn't really anything else going on. So I kind of started at the beginning and I didn't hate it. So I kept watching it and I ended up watching the whole thing. I don't know how true to the book it is. I don't know if they were adapting it from the book or the movie more.
Or are they remaking the movie
Yes.
or are they just doing another interpretation from the book?
And there are a few versions of this one, but
Yeah.
I do know the basic plot line of this. It's a kind of isolated girl, I assume from kind of a religious family. Her mom is fucking terrible. I do know that. And then one day at school, she can't take it no more and she develops telekinesis and then things go badly for those around her.
Yeah, and I think, oh man, if I remember this right, a lot of the powers stuff doesn't really rear its head until the very, very end of the movie.
It's like the final act of the movie.
Yeah, and if you didn't know what this movie was about, you would think, oh yeah, this kid is just getting bullied, and that's what this movie is about? Okay, that's kind of weird.
It's kind of depressing is what it is.
Yeah, but this one stars Sissy Spacek, which I don't think we've covered any of her movies.
If we have, it's very, very minor
Yeah, if she was a very minor thing. This was also directed by Brian De Palma. Now, we have covered, I think, just one Brian De Palma movie, and that was Scarface for episode 200, for movie 200 we did. And I was just kind of scrolling through his filmography, and there are some gems in here. There's also some stinkers. One of the gems, I just have to say this, I absolutely love the Nicolas Cage classic, Snake Eyes, which was just announced this week that we're recording this, that they're going to come out with a 4K disc for that movie.
Just in time for Christmas.
I am so excited to watch that trash in 4K.
Oh, it's one of those movies that I think a lot of people would argue is in fact trash.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if you love it, you love Snake Eyes.
I love Snake Eyes so much. It's so fun.
I don't know how many times I've seen Snake Eyes with you, but it's a lot of times. times.
Not by choice.
No, you usually will put that on without being asked at least once a year. So yes, Brian De Palma, our knowledge is kind of limited of him, and I would assume this one is one of his earliest movies.
I would assume so, yeah, because a lot of his stuff really started to come out in the 80s and 90s. Like we watched the Untouchables. He did the first Mission Impossible movie. I also saw The Black Dahlia. That was his movie. I saw that movie in the theater.
Why?
And that movie sucks.
Why?
Oh my God. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff to really talk about with Brian De Palma. But, you know, Carrie, it's going to be one of these movies where I'm really going to be curious to see, okay, why? Why do people really, really like this movie? Is it because that it's just the lead up? Is it because, hey, she's just getting revenge on all the shitty kids who are being shitty to her? Or is there something else that I don't really know about? Because I haven't really seen anything of this movie in probably 20 years. So I guess we'll see. Anything else?
No, I'm excited that we're finally doing this movie because that's kind of the point of this series, is to find a reason to finally cover the biggest movies that we have not seen.
There you go. All right, we're going to go and watch the 1976 version of Carrie. We will be right back. And that was Carrie. Betsy, how are you feeling now?
Kids, if you're in high school, don't bully people. Just don't. Don't do it. For fuck's sake.
Don't do it.
Don't be that guy. Don't be an asshole. This is the meanest bunch of high schoolers I think I've ever seen in a movie.
These little bitches.
Like,
oh my God.
Full stop. These are the nastiest high schoolers I've ever seen in a movie.
It's really bad.
That being said, I enjoyed the film.
This is fantastic.
Like I said, I saw a version of this when I was like in high school or college, whenever that came out.
Came out in 2002, so that makes sense.
Okay. But I have not seen any other of the original. So the flow of the movie, I was like, okay, yes, she has a traumatic experience and a religious mother, and it just sort of happens that she starts experiencing telekinesis.
Yeah, you know.
And then, you know, the bullies, they push her too far. And we're going to unpack the motivations of the bullies. But, oh my God, like the whole time, I just kept thinking, I feel so bad for this girl.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for her. And the only person who feels bad for her is this teacher and like one student. And everybody else is a fucking asshole. Even other teachers do not pay her the time of day. Like that fucking principal where he's just like, send in Cassie. Her name is Carrie. Yes, Cassie, you were just told by two separate women in the same room that her name is fucking Carrie. And you're two, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that set me off.
Yeah, and
fuck you.
In the classroom, even that guy, who, by the way, the only thing I've ever seen him in is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That teacher, he was even being a dick to her in the class when she says, "Oh, it was beautiful. The poem was beautiful." Well, that's not a criticism. Shut the fuck up, man.
It's like he didn't pick up on the social cue. Like, clearly, this is someone who never speaks in class.
Right.
And she finally opens her mouth. And I know he was trying to make a point because he knows that this guy did not write this poem.
Of course.
But instead of saying, well, no, you can think it's beautiful. However, my point still stands. He didn't write this. He could have called him out on his bullshit. He absolutely could have done that in front of the whole class.
Yeah, but is there a dynamic here that he's the big football star, basketball star, track star, that he can't possibly fail him?
I mean, he did say something about coach is sending me to state.
Yeah.
That thing. So, yes, okay, maybe that's what it is. But he shouldn't have gone after Carrie for saying it's beautiful. Like, she thought it was a nice poem. Maybe she has terrible taste because she is the most isolated, sheltered human being
And
I've ever seen.
She could never even think of somebody cheating and plagiarizing a different poem.
No.
No, not at all. It wouldn't even enter her mind.
No, and they don't say where it came from, where the poem was sourced.
No.
But she has feelings. Like, for fuck's sake, she's a human being.
She doesn't get to experience things like art and shit like that in her home life.
She doesn't get to experience anything.
No.
Anything at all. And even when she does experience something, good, bad, or otherwise, it's her fault. Everything is her fault. She doesn't know about the female reproductive system, and she just happens to be an advanced age for somebody to get their first period.
It happens.
It happens. But I understand completely the beginning of this movie that she has a fucking meltdown. If you didn't know that, if you did not know what happens to you when you become a woman.
And think about this. She doesn't have any friends. And you would think that having friends, you would talk about such things or know when your other friends start to have theirs.
She doesn't go to the movies. She doesn't read about it.
No.
Nothing. It's a complete fucking mystery. And she thinks she's dying and has a panic attack.
She's begging these other girls, help me, save me. I can understand that. You start to bleed profusely and you don't know what's going on.
And you didn't get injured. You don't know why. You just start hemorrhaging.
You're just in the shower and you start bleeding. Of course you're going to freak out if it's never happened to you before.
And the response of these fucking bitches
oh my God.
is to throw her back in the shower and start throwing shit at her and laughing and screaming at her.
Yeah, besides the fact that she's covered in blood and wet and naked, they're pushing her away saying, ew, get Carrie off of me. And they shove her back into the shower in the corner and start throwing tampons, and they take the pads out of the machine, start throwing at her saying, plug it up, plug it up. I remember that scene. I've seen this scene before, and it's even worse now.
Yeah, not one girl in that group had the balls to try to help her.
Right.
To try to stand up to all these girls and say, knock it off. Not one of them. That is insane. Like, usually in movies like this, there's the girl who is getting bullied has like one friend.
Yeah, there's
somebody
a good,
to stand up for them.
there's a good egg in this entire troop, but no, there's really not.
And we sort of get one later on. There's the curly-haired girl. And you even said when she starts being nice to her, you're like, it's a fucking ruse. Like, you don't trust this bitch.
I feel like she's like the worst out of the bunch. But by the end of the movie, there's an inkling here that, oh, they're genuine.
She was
they
sincere.
actually want her to go to the prom with her boyfriend. What?
Yeah.
Where does this come from?
She actually tried to do something nice because reasons. I don't know. Something actually snapped in her that she was like, maybe we should try being nice to this girl. She didn't do anything. Carrie has done nothing to anybody except be a little bit weird. She's the weird kid. Well, it's not her fucking fault that she's the weird kid.
And the worst thing about this, Betsy, because I experienced a lot of bullying, not to this extent, but the worst thing is when you have this happen to you in your school life. Your safe haven should be your home life. And she doesn't have that either. She can't even talk to her mother about this very real womanly thing that she needs to be informed about. Because like everything else in a woman's life, it's a sin. It is original sin. You are cursed as being a woman. Now you're a woman and now you have to suffer more.
Yeah. Oh, you're a woman now. God. And she slaps her across the face with a book.
And forces her to say, I am a sinner, even though she did nothing wrong.
No, Trent. She was pure as long as she didn't have her cycle. As long as that didn't happen. And the only reason it finally struck her was she clearly did something sinful. Whether it was a thought, an idea, a passing moment. Carrie is a sinner.
Right.
And so she is being struck down with womanhood.
Yeah.
And it's her fucking fault. And her mom is like, you pray your sin away. Like, what?
The curse of blood, as she calls it.
Yeah. So many things to unpack about this woman. So many things to unpack about this poor girl's life. You know, I was thinking, because I couldn't remember why dad isn't there. I was like, is it a thing where her mom was maybe attacked and she is also a victim. It kind of sounds like borderline. Like she had premarital sex.
Yeah.
She didn't like it. And so she agreed to marry this guy on the condition that they never have sex. And then when it
Right.
finally happened, he was kind of drunk.
Yeah.
But also she said she liked it.
She liked it. And at that point, she said, I should have killed myself. It was after they had premarital sex. She said, I should have killed myself. And then later on in the same conversation, she basically says, I should have killed you, my daughter, after you were born.
Because the only time they had sex was like the most sinful experience in her own life.
She enjoyed it.
And that is when she conceived.
Jesus.
That's the implication here, is that only happened twice. And then dad ran off because he was not getting any from this woman.
Right.
And she is straight up nuts. She has gone off the deep end. She's way too religious. She is way too crazy about sin and sex and everything and anything.
Yeah.
So he fucked off. I can understand why.
Right. But you would think, maybe he doesn't even know that he has child.
Maybe.
I have no idea.
Maybe. Nobody knows because it's just Carrie and her mom. And her mom is insane.
It's such a sad situation that Carrie is in here. And I feel so bad for her because I know of people who, again, they have no other place to go. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Carrie is going to a public school.
That she's going to school at all.
That she's going to school at all. Yeah. So even the fact that she is at a public school exposed to all of these other people and other ideas and has access to a library, for fuck's sake.
A very fully stocked library based on the books she was reading.
Sure. Yeah, she was also, what was she checking out? She was checking out stuff she was trying to find out miracles first, because that's really the only thing that she can pinpoint as to why she has these abilities.
That's how she's trying to articulate it. That's the only word she knows.
Sure. And then she starts to go down this rabbit hole of, okay, this is the next thing, this is the next thing. And finally she comes to this idea of telekinesis. And that's really what the power is.
Finds it in a psychology book, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the only one. There are other people. It is documented. So I'm not a freak. Like, she basically concludes to herself that it's not her fault. There are other people who have this power, and, she needs to tell somebody about it.
At least the idea exists in the world.
Yeah. And the fact that she even, comes out to her mom and tells her, I can do this with my mind, and her mom's reaction is witchcraft.
Well, of course, it's the devil.
A modern human being in 1976 screaming witchcraft. This is what she's got to deal with.
Bessie, some people would still say that shit now.
Oh, we're not going down that road.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. But even though she has these, latent powers, but she can only really bring it up when she really concentrates, is what she says anyway. But it's really coming out with her emotions, like a lot of of these kinds of powers, types of movies.
Moments of acute stress.
Yeah. And it happens a few times just kind of innocuously, like when she's in the shower, the light bursts and nobody really has anything to say about it. Then another time she's in her house and the mirror breaks.
She kind of moves the ashtray in the principal's office.
Yeah, when the principal cannot say her name.
Yeah.
She flips the cigarette thing over.
It's small things at first. It's just little moments. And then it's, slamming all the windows closed when her mom is yelling at her.
Right.
And she's standing up to her mom. Like, there's a moment where she's actually trying to tell her, stop, throwing fucking coffee in my face and listen to me.
Right.
I'm going to be an adult eventually, and I need to have some semblance of a chance to figure out who I am and what I'm about.
Yeah,
and you are going to take that from me.
She says she wants to start to fit in at her school. This boy wants me to go to prom with him, and I already told him yes. And of course, the mom says, "No, you must not. This is a boy, and these are all sins that you're talking about, and blah blah blah." And she continues to push back, saying, "No, I'm gonna go to this thing. You cannot stop me."
And she really doesn't do that until after that little pep talk the teacher gives her. Like, that teacher, Mrs. Collins, is so nice. She's so nice to Carrie. She's just like, You've got a nice face, and just stop hiding behind your hair and moping around all the time. Just look at yourself in the mirror. You're a beautiful, bright young woman, and you could be somebody. You don't have to be sad and miserable all the time.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that she's just kind of focusing on the looks part of it.
Well, it's something to get her to smile, at least to start.
To start, yeah. But she says, like, you know, put your hair up so we can see your pretty face and your pretty eyes, and like put some eyeshadow on and maybe a little bit of lipstick and blah, blah, blah.
It's the stuff a mom should be saying.
You're right.
It is the mother figure she is missing in her life.
Yeah. And let's stay talking about this teacher here because, yes, she is fantastic, not only to Carrie and trying to encourage her and defend her when she needs to, but also the fact that she goes after these little bitches and punishes them to a degree. And I have very different opinions about how adults in public schools need to be able. And I'm not saying that they need to slap them like she does.
Don't slap the children.
Don't physically assault the children. I draw my line there, but you need to be able to have more creative punishments for little shits like this.
Yeah, you all did a really horrible fucking thing, and since none of you seem to think it was horrible, we're gonna do aggressive gymnastics, basically.
And just say, I tried to get all you fuckers suspended and kicked out of prom, but because I was told no by the principal, probably the men, she said, okay, well, this is my compromise. You fuckers are coming to detention for a week. 1 hour a day, and we're gonna do all these like calisthenics things, and you guys are mine. I'm a gym teacher. We're gonna do some fucking gym shit.
And if you don't show up, you don't get to go to prom.
If you don't show up for one of these days, I get to have my initial punishment for you. You're suspended and you can't go to prom. So you can get out of it. You can get out of this. All you gotta do is come to detention. It's not that big of a deal. It's a week. But a couple of these chicks just do not want to go through with it. And we'll talk about these actresses later, but it's Sue, the brown curly haired gal, and the kind of wavy blonde. Now, the wavy blonde is Chris. She's the worst one because she's the one who has the John Travolta boyfriend. We'll get into that. And she's the one who gets into the entire pig's blood thing. Yeah. And we think as the audience here that both Sue and Chris are in cahoots to try to have this terrible thing happen at prom.
They're doing it independently of each other.
Yeah.
But we've watched enough movies to be suspicious.
Of course. We think that they're in cahoots because they want some kind of revenge for the slight that they have to go through all this detention shit.
Oh my God, you have to run in place one time, once a day.
Oh my God, it's the consequences of my actions.
I have to be held responsible for being nasty and bullying people.
Yeah.
Wow, your life is really hard.
Jesus. And not only is this group of ladies just shitty, like directly to her, but there's also like fucking graffiti that is painted on the walls saying Carrie White eats shit. And you can see the janitor in the background trying to like paint over or clean up the graffiti. And like, good God, like, are you teachers not doing anything to try to combat this in any way? Is the gym teacher the only one? Because clearly this has been something that like this entire like student body has it out for Carrie.
For no particular reason. She's
just
weird.
Because she's weird.
She's just weird. And that's not her fault. But yeah,
and
everybody.
That's not an excuse to bully her and do all this other shit to her.
No, but everybody seems to have a very strong vendetta against her.
And it seems like it's just embedded into the school to the point where the other teachers are just okay with it, or they don't care.
They don't do anything to put a stop to it. She is literally the only teacher. Mrs. Collins is the only one who tries.
And even when that teacher goes to the principal and says, this is what happened in the shower, and not only like these other bitches who are throwing shit at her, she's saying she's having her first period here, and even the principal says, oh, isn't that a little late for that to be happening? Doesn't fucking matter, dude. She is a girl who needs help.
Yeah,
and you should be the first line of defense for her.
She says, I don't think until 30 minutes ago she knew what that was.
Right.
I had to give her the talk. I had to explain it to her.
And not only that, but they also know about the mother.
Yes.
He says something to the effect of, well, we can't really go around her religious beliefs, and we know that she's kind of a nut job, so I guess we just send her home?
Yeah. It's that problem of she does not have a safe home environment.
Right.
But because the mother, it can't be proven that she's doing anything to her. Like, and this is in the 70s where people beat their kids all the time. It was
Sure.
just kind of the normal.
Sure, like corporal punishment was still very much a thing in schools, other schools.
Oh, yeah. We didn't say it, but specifically when the teacher slaps Chris.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she definitely had that coming, but also don't slap the teenage girls.
You might want to. You might really, really want to.
Oh, they absolutely need to be slapped. they desperately need to have the shit kicked out of them. However, we're not gonna do that. They will get their comeuppance some other way.
Like I said, we are not advocates for hitting children of any kind. I got spanked plenty of times. I never got slapped, though.
No, I've never been slapped.
Not in the face. Well, I suppose that's as good a time as any to take a break, so we will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Feeling run down, lethargic, a little bloated?
Yes. Oh, God, yes.
Well, have I got the prescription for you?
Oh, no, not another pill. I take enough of those that I find in the dumpster behind the Burger King.
Oh, no. It's better than any dumpster pills. It's patreon.com/neverseenitpod.
I'm interested. Tell me more.
It's premium content from those jokers at Never Seen It. They have 4 other weekly shows, plus bonuses.
I've heard of those guys. They're like super talented and funny.
And sexy. Don't forget sexy.
Oh, then I'll definitely check them out. Thanks, disembodied voice.
Anytime.
So we've talked about the overarching thing here. Carrie is a very special lady, and she has powers, and she's bullied, and there's going to be a prom. And we all know what happened at the prom. But I want to talk about here some of the people in this movie, because Sissy Spacek is a gal that I know that I've known the name Sissy Spacek pretty much my entire life, but I don't really think I've seen anything where she's a star. Like, this might be the first and only thing I've seen her in.
I've seen her in a few movies, but yeah, rarely the star. She's usually like the mom or the best friend or something like that, because she's been in the business for so long that, she's just kind of at that point in her career now.
And apparently another actress was up for this role. Carrie Fisher was supposed to also be this person.
I don't know if I could have gotten down with that. Like, I don't know that
she would have been around the same age.
Yes, and I don't think she would have necessarily been bad, but Carrie Fisher to me is one of those people with such a personality. Like, she was one of those ladies with such chutzpah.
She was an old woman before her time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And she was trying to get into the business. This is pre-Star Wars.
Yes.
So I get it, but also I think Sissy's the right way to go, because there's such an innocence around her in this movie. She's 27 years old when this movie comes out.
Yeah.
And she looks like a baby.
She's made up like that. She's got the very flat hair down to her shoulders,
hanging over her face.
Yeah.
Very wide-eyed. She's terrified.
She's also a ginger and
freckly.
Very freckly. So those kids get pushed off to the side. I would say that fits a lot better than a lot of other people would. Now, you could have made Carrie Fisher up or any other actress up to, look similar to this or be somebody that would be bullied. Really, anybody can be bullied. It happens all the time, everywhere.
But it's the believability of, are they ever going to stand up for themselves?
Yeah.
And in this movie, you just think Sissy Spacek is going to just take it.
Because that's all she can do.
That's all she can do. It's all she's been doing. It never changes. So why bother?
No one has her back until this teacher finally says something and does something.
But it's like too late at this point because
Yeah.
she has been repressing and repressing and repressing and being beaten and bullied and just squished down her entire life. Everyone around her is horrible, that when they go too far, she snaps.
Yeah.
And it terrifies the shit out of her that she did that. Like when she finally gets home afterwards, she's just like, Mom, please comfort me.
Right.
Because
Hold me.
it was horrible and I don't know what to do.
I think the worst part of it is when it finally happens to her, the blood is on her, and all of these images start coming into her head. She's been betrayed by not just the person that pulled the string, not just the person who killed the pig and got the blood. No, it's everybody. She was even envisioning the gym teacher laughing at her.
And I don't even think in that moment that there were that many people actually laughing. Yes, the girl with the red hat,
Yeah.
that's a fucking look to commit to.
There's a few people in the front that are laughing, yes, but I think everybody else is just shocked. Not only because what they just witnessed, but also the bucket fell on Tommy and killed him.
I don't know if it killed him, but it certainly knocked him the
Well,
fuck
he's
out.
dead.
Well, now he's dead.
Yeah.
He certainly didn't have a chance to escape.
No, but either way.
But yeah, when she finally snaps, like she just believes that everybody is there making fun of her.
Everybody is laughing at her, and that's what her mother told her. They're all gonna laugh at you.
So she says,
don't
fine.
go,
So
yeah.
fine. I'm just gonna fucking, lock you all in, shoot you down with a hose, and then set the fucking building on fire.
He set the building on fire.
Oh my. Ooh, yeah. And the way she is just kind of comatose. Like
Yeah.
she is so perfectly covered in blood except for her eyes. And she is so wide-eyed.
She's intense.
And she is like in that frozen pose with her hands out. And she's just slowly walking through the chaos.
She walks home, and by the end of it, right before she gets home, Chris and her boyfriend come up behind her and try to run her down.
But the way she like turns and looks and then just, flips the fucking car
with
and
the
then
flip of her wrist makes the car roll over and burst into flames.
But that posture that she takes up where she is just frozen in this position, wide-eyed, it is creepy.
Yeah.
It is so creepy when she is walking home and then she's just slowly like lifting up her dress to walk up the stairs and the house is all lit up with candles and she's just looking around and looking. It's fucking eerie. It is
Yeah,
eerie. I'm
she
saying
goes into this-
fuck a lot this episode because it's just uncomfortable looking at her in this part of the movie.
Yeah. So watching this movie all the way through tonight, I was trying to remember if I've actually seen this all the way through. And I don't think I have, because I would have remembered her walking home and the car flips. I would have remembered the house full of candles. I would have remembered her stabbing her mother and making her into a stabbed Jesus, a la What's in the Prayer Closet. I would have remembered all that stuff. So I feel like I've seen the first half of the movie and I've seen the prom result, but I don't remember anything else. So that being said, me reacting the way I did when she goes into the house filled with candles as if this is just something that happens all the time. Her getting into the bath with the mother behind the door. You mentioned you saw that.
I was trying to figure out where her mother was, and you see the door open to the bathroom, and you see her dress form, and there's just sort of an arm there. And
There's
if
an
you're
arm
not,
hanging there, yeah.
if you're not paying very close attention, you could miss it. But I was like, is that her mom just standing creepily in the darkness behind the door?
In her nightgown.
It sure as shit was.
Yeah. So yeah, she goes into the bathtub and scrubs everything off, and she puts on her fucking muumuu or whatever it is.
Her nightgown. And she calms down.
Yeah. Then the mom comes in and just starts berating her again. Jesus.
Okay, so all this to say, I think we both like Sissy Spacek in this movie. So now let's
100%.
talk about Piper Laurie, the woman who plays her mother.
Yes.
So both of these actresses were nominated for Academy Awards for this movie.
I had no idea until right before we sat down here when you saw that.
And Piper Laurie is like an old Hollywood kind of lady. We were going through her IMDb page, and I'm like, holy shit, she went way back. And she only just died a year ago, like a year ago this week.
Yes. A couple of nights ago, Betsy and I went to dinner, and I started to look at the Carrie thing because this is the next movie we were going to do. And I started to go down this weird IMDb hole where I saw the actress that plays the mother, Piper Laurie, and I recognized her from one thing that I had seen. She was in one episode of the TV show Dead Like Me that I have talked about on this podcast many, many times. It came out in like 2004, 2005-ish. So, she was going to live for another almost 20 years at that point. I started to go down this rabbit hole of looking at her trivia and looking at all of her credits. The woman was working since she was a teenager. She was born in the 1930s.
And she was making like big musicals of the time in like the 1950s, the golden age of Hollywood.
She won like 3 Oscars over the course of her career. It's incredible. And not only that, Betsy, I could not believe this when I read this. She wrote an autobiography in like 2011, or I can't remember the year. But she wrote this autobiography where she reveals that not only did she somehow hook up with Mel Gibson while they were working on a movie in 1979, okay? 1979. This woman was 25 years older than Mel Gibson at the time, and she was married. They fucked.
And listen, her autobiography was clearly a tell-all.
Definitely.
But I said this to you when you read that to me. In 1979, I think, we all would have slept with Mel Gibson.
Totally.
He was a very handsome young man in those days.
We covered Mad Max on our Patreon.
Put aside the crazy.
But here's the weirder one.
If I fucked Mel Gibson, I too would write about it in my autobiography.
But here's the weirder one, Betsy. In 1950, okay? She was born in the 30s. She is a teenager working on a movie with Ronald Reagan, who was almost 40. They hooked up.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
It was a weird time in Hollywood in those days.
Yeah.
Weird couplings happening. Yeah.
So, needless to say...
So this is the mom.
Needless to say, that actress is amazing, and I want to see a lot more of her. And not only does she have an amazing career, she is just fantastic in this movie in general because I guess her understanding of when she was doing her scenes here, she thought this was going to be a dark comedy. She thought it was a comedy because her acting was so big. Why would anybody think that this is serious? That was her attitude.
That's how she was playing it.
Totally.
It is an interesting approach, but when you do it that way, and then the movie plays completely seriously, it adds a very curious dimension to it.
And I think the actress who played Chris also didn't know that her character was going to be that evil. She was thinking, oh yeah, we're just a bunch of fucking dumbasses who are playing pranks. It wasn't until they finally saw the movie in its final form that she realized, oh my God, I'm terrible. Yeah.
And that actress was in RoboCop, go figure. But yeah, Piper Laurie. So she is this ultra religious, God is going to strike you down. I'm handing out pamphlets to all the parents to make sure that their teenagers read it and follow the path of righteousness. Anytime Carrie does anything, she beats her, she locks her in a closet, she sends her to bed without dinner. She's extreme the entire movie. And when Carrie finally stands up to her a little bit, even in that situation, she's like trying so hard to keep her from going to prom. And she's saying, oh, he's not coming. He's not coming. You've still got time. I can still save you.
I can go down there and tell him that you're sick. But when she keeps on saying no, she starts to scratch her own face and pull her own hair.
So do you think she has a psychotic break here? Or do you just think she is so committed to, God has spoken and this is what has to happen.
I feel like it is as honest as you could possibly get when it comes to her thinking that her daughter is on the path of sin.
And so her only solution is, my daughter is a witch and I have to kill her because God believes that witches be bad.
Well, I think she even said that the devil has entered our home and I need to smite the devil.
He's taken a hold of you and this is the only way out.
Right. Because she has this power and she witnessed it firsthand when she closed all the doors and the windows and everything else earlier in the movie. So yeah, she's had a psychotic break. And when she's talking to her, she mentions, let this be our last prayer. And I just fucking knew that something was about to happen because I don't remember this part of the movie at all.
Well, that's where it's leading to because she says, God said, thou shalt not tolerate a witch or something, suffer a witch.
Fine.
And they show her like chopping carrots and then she stops chopping carrots and just starts chopping.
Chopping.
But yeah, she is wild in this whole movie. Like, I think part of it is also the look. Like, her hair is enormous and crazed, and she dresses not of the right time frame. It feels like she's wearing a fucking cape and gloves the first time we meet her.
Yeah, you mentioned it before, she's going to these other parents' houses.
Door to door.
And everybody knows about her. They know her name. They know what she's about. She's the town kook.
And the other parents, like that mom is literally trying to get her to make a conversation like, our daughters know each other and they have some classes. And why don't we talk about literally anything else? Anything.
And she knows that the only way to get her out of the house is just, here's some money. This is what you want. Get the fuck out of my house.
I want to donate $10.
Okay, $10, fine.
Please leave. But yeah, she's got this big hair and she uses like an old-timey sewing machine and they live in this shitty little house. The house, the way it's made up, she has the most terrifying imagery of Jesus Christ. It's not like beautiful, warm, like there's the Christ who loves us pictures. It is a demon with glowing eyes and it's disturbing.
Well, in the prayer closet, like that figure didn't even really look like Jesus. Like,
it looked homemade.
It looks homemade, but not only that, it's got the weird white eyes. It's got the crazy red hair like her mother has. And when he's on the crucifix, there are fucking bleeding arrows coming out of him, a la how she looks at the end of the movie with all the knives in her.
I'm glad you spotted that because I didn't even think about that when it happened. And you were like, it looks like the Jesus statue in the prayer closet. I was like, oh my God, it does.
Yeah. So let's talk about how this movie ends. As long as we're still in the prayer closet. And we talked about the mother trying to stab her in the back as she's embracing her.
Oh no, she does stab her in the back.
Well, she does, yes. She tumbles down the stairs and is backing up. She can barely get away. And the mother is just looking fucking crazed. And the psycho music is in the background.
So in this moment, her mother is in like a virginal white nightgown.
Yeah.
And she is smiling. She has such a serene look on her face. Like she is overcome with,
she's doing God's work.
I know this is the right thing. And then Carrie fights back and stabs her with all these knives. Would you say that sound emitting from her is ecstasy? Like when she is dying, she's not in pain. It kind of sounds like she's moaning in pleasure.
I feel like maybe this is half of her being happy that she's going to go and meet God. She's going to heaven.
I don't know. I don't know what this moment is, but it sounded to me like she was in the throes of passion. Like the way her head is like moving and she's just kind of moaning.
I don't know.
That is how I interpreted it.
I didn't get that, but I can see where you're coming from here. But part of the other thing that I noticed, this is really weird.
Oh, this is the weird part.
Yeah. So when Carrie finally decides that she wants to try to, save her mother here after stabbing her 6 times, she pulls the knife out of her right hand and is about to take her to the prayer closet for shelter as
Because
as
the
the house starts to come down for some reason.
Because Carrie is overcome with emotion. As I
She
said,
is, she
acute
is.
moments of stress and emotion. She is bringing the house down on them.
Sure, but she grabs her, and her other hand is still stuck to the wall, and there's this weird, almost cartoonish sound effect. Yeah.
It's just like a pop.
It just pops out of the thing, and it took me out of the moment.
Yeah, it's really, it all comes to a head very, very quickly.
But why? I understand that she's got these powers and maybe she can't control them, but why would I understand why the house would catch on fire because all of the fucking candles, that I understand. But why is everything else coming down? Is she like committing suicide here? Is she wanting this to happen?
Effectively, yes, because Trent, she has been abused by this woman for so long. And you see the entire movie, she's still trying to reason with her mother. She still loves this person, and she is trying really hard to become her own person, out from under the thumb of her mother, but still be a part of her mother's life. Like, I don't think this is a person that is going to end up staying close to home. If she had survived, if she had somehow not killed everyone in the high school on prom night.
We'll get back to that.
If she managed to graduate and move away, would she come back? Probably not. Or maybe she would try, but she wouldn't be welcome. But she would keep thinking about her mother. She is that person that she cannot help herself. And so when she has this absolute moment of betrayal because your own mother just literally stabbed you in the back and you fall down the stairs and she is coming after you, she's gonna kill you, and you, out of self-defense, kill your mother. And you do it in a way that is very reminiscent of something that she has forced upon you your entire life.
Indeed.
And you suddenly realize what you did. Yeah, you're gonna fucking lose it. You can't even control it at that point.
It's not only what she did to her mother, which is probably the most consequential thing, but she just walked all the way from the school after committing many murders for even people that didn't deserve it.
Yeah, she killed the teacher who was nice to her.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because she lost control.
Well, again, she had these things flash before her eyes. She thought that the teacher was laughing at her. That was in one of her visions. So that was part of the betrayal. This teacher betrayed me, just like all these other people betrayed me, and they all need to die.
But listen, her mother is not a nice person, but up to this point, she's never betrayed her.
You're right.
If we're being literal about it, her mother never betrayed her. She's just a horrible woman with terrible ideas.
So let's game this out here. And I know this is getting long, but this is an important movie that, hey, we didn't get to have this with The Exorcist last year, so I wanna go down this road. If she walked home from the school after committing many, many murders, she came home, got in the tub, got clean, went to bed. No candles. The mom already went to bed because she didn't want to stay up late.
She's not lurking behind a door.
She's not lurking behind the door watching every move that you make. And Carrie just goes to bed and she goes to school the next day or the next Monday or whatever. What is this girl's life the rest of her high school days? Not even after high school.
Complicated.
Well, yeah. I mean, the gym just burned down, so they're going to have to do something about that and get a new gym teacher.
There's no school. Half the faculty just burned to death.
I mean, of the faculty that they showed on screen, like a lot of other high school movies that we have watched, there's like 3 teachers.
And they're all dead.
And they're all dead.
So there's no school. The only high schooler who survived is deeply traumatized and having nightmares for the rest of her days.
Yeah.
I don't know. If Carrie somehow survived this, I feel like if this didn't do it, something else would have. Something else would have triggered her. And it probably still would have ended badly. I don't know if there's a world in which Carrie gets to live happily ever after.
No, and I don't foresee that either, but like, how do you even go down this road? Because it is the senior class. It's just the seniors there and their dates and the chaperones and a few other people.
So it's not so bad. Only the seniors died.
Only the seniors are dead. Maybe they'll let her graduate as a class of 2.
Yeah, why not?
You know?
And then
Not everybody goes to the prom. I didn't go to prom.
No, and then she can have one friend who is deeply traumatized and, I don't know, get a job at the corner store or something because she's probably not leaving town.
I mean, clearly there are a lot of stores in town that need help. I mean,
now that all of their part-time workers are dead.
Those teenage boys went in to rent the Tux, and there's nobody helping them there. She could go work there. She could work at the makeup counter because clearly she knows how to put on makeup now.
She was like so good at putting on lipstick. Or you know what?
She can just be a fucking seamstress. She made her own prom dress. That's amazing. I had a friend who made her own prom dress, made her own wedding dress. That was what she wanted to do. She wanted to make a dress shop.
Yeah, my mom made my prom dress. I did not make it myself. I'm not that skilled. So no, I don't have an answer for you, Trent. It's a little bit complicated. Like I said, if she somehow survived and managed to squish down that trauma, I think it would have just exploded bigger because the reason it went down the way it did was she's been repressing it all.
Yeah.
And she ain't going to therapy. This was the 70s.
Yeah. I mean, you could even come up with so many different hypotheticals here. Even if the pig's blood got dumped on her and she just walked home with all the blood.
Okay, I don't want to talk about that hypothetical. I want to talk about something that actually is that I assume would be the hypothetical.
Okay.
We touched on it in the intro. This is based on a Stephen King novel, and you said this was his first novel.
This is his first novel that got put into a movie. He was paid $2,500 for this script.
For this script. Okay. So was it his first novel or just his first movie version?
I don't have clarification on that.
Okay. Well, here's the thought I had when you said that. There are a lot of themes throughout this movie very obviously reminiscent of Psycho.
Yes. I mentioned it earlier.
There is a kid who has a really extreme mother and they're very repressed and they act out. So the hypothetical is basically Norman Bates. The town is called Bates. It's the Bates High School. There's all these like nods.
The pig farm is called Bates.
The pig farm is called the Bates Pig Farm.
Yeah.
They literally use the Psycho
many times.
It's not subtle. So I'm taking two things away from this. One, it's clearly an earlier work from Stephen King, and he's still finding his own unique voice, but he basically took an idea, something that he saw as a kid, Psycho, and said, okay, let's extrapolate on that idea. What's the prequel to Psycho? And he came up with Carrie because you've got this really overbearing mother and the kid that just can't take it anymore. And in Psycho, spoiler alert for this movie, the reason he goes nuts is he kills his own mother. He kills her and he leaves her body in the basement.
Yeah.
You know, and then he dresses up at her because he becomes his mother. He gets a split personality. So if this had happened and then she kills her mother, she's now Norman Bates. That's kind of what it is, except in this version, she just is so overcome with guilt that she literally brings the house down on top of them. And then she dies. And then she gets one last scare, even though it's not real.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I really love that ending, even though it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But it's one final scare in this movie that had very few actual scares.
Like jump scare type things.
Yeah, I didn't really know what was happening here because it's Sue going to the burned down site of the house, and there's a sign, there's a for sale sign there for the land, and somebody graffitied that fucking thing saying Carrie burns in hell or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, even in death, people cannot let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that infuriates me is these fucking teenagers, Chris in particular. I hate Carrie. Why? Because you were mean to her, so you hate her.
And you got in trouble for making fun of her or pranking her or doing whatever to her. You're the one who's causing the punishment here.
Somebody for once in your life made you have consequences to your actions, and so clearly you're the victim and Carrie needs to be punished. Okay, sweetie.
Okay. So you're going to go and give John Travolta a blowjob, and as you're doing it, you're going to ask him for a nice favor. So go and kill this pig and get the blood and rig it up in the top. oh my God, this girl is just too much. And I'm glad that she got her comeuppance. There, I said it.
Yeah, it's strange. It's a curious movie because we are basically rooting for the bad guy. Like in so many words. Like Carrie does some heinous things. Yes, she is not totally to
She's
blame.
not in her right mind.
She's not in her right mind. Like, there are circumstances leading to why she did this. Like, she wouldn't have just done it outright. But also, she just straight up killed a ton of people, and we're like, good. They fucking had that coming.
Yeah, and
this is like when we watched Joker. And I was like, is the whole thing I'm supposed to feel really bad for the Joker? Because it's working, but I don't like it. The difference is with this one, I have no preconceived notions about Carrie as a person. I just have the idea of Carrie. And I'm like, I know what she's going to do. And the whole movie, I also felt bad for her. But at the end, I'm like, good. Fuck them bitches.
yeah, when you bring up the Joker comparison, like in that movie, you have to have this sympathy for this person with a mental illness or multiple mental illnesses. You know, Carrie doesn't have a mental illness. She has this power that she can't control, so you can't blame her for that. And she has this home life that is not conducive to being sane. For lack of any other kind of word for that, I guess.
If I smush down all my problems long enough, will I too develop telekinesis?
Let's hope so. But all right. So that's Carrie. Betsy, I know there's some more things that we got to talk about here. There's many minor things we have to mention. So let's get going.
So one thing we haven't mentioned really is the fact that this is a Brian De Palma film. We haven't really spent a lot of time with his filmography, you and I.
We talked about it in the intro, and that was about it.
Yeah. The fact that there's a lot of dual focus in this movie.
Yes.
Stylistically, he was definitely loving that. The one thing I really liked was the shot of the rope when Chris is underneath the stage and you see her hand is on the rope going up to the bucket, and they do that panning shot going all the way up to where the bucket is. I thought that was a nice shot. I liked that.
They do that really well. Also, the shot where Sue is looking underneath the stage and there's a light with the shadow of her hand on the rope, or it was even his hand on the rope, somebody's hand on the rope, but the shadow there looks so good.
Yeah, there were some cool shots in this. The one I didn't like was when they were on the dance floor and they wouldn't stop spinning. I was getting so fucking dizzy.
They were literally on a spinning platform and the camera was spinning along with them. It was a lot.
If you're trying to disorient me, it's working. I had to look away. It was too much.
You did.
The fact, John Travolta's in this movie, along with a lot of other people we have not mentioned. So
yeah, a lot of the girls we've recognized in other things.
The girl who played Chris was in RoboCop, which we watched on this show, so you can go back and listen to that episode. The girl with the red hat, like that is committing to a look, and it's not a great look.
And I knew I recognized her from something, you finally said she was in Stripes.
She was in Stripes.
Which is a great movie.
John Travolta, pre-Saturday Night Fever.
He was on Welcome Back, Kotter.
At this point,
when they were advertising the movie, John Travolta got second billing.
Because he wasn't a movie star.
He wasn't a movie star, but people
knew who he was.
People knew him from the show.
But the one that I did not expect to see, but I saw her face and I went, oh, it's her. Fucking Edie McClurg is in this movie. And you might not recognize the name, but if you've watched anything from the 80s, like the most iconic 80s movies, this woman is in them. She worked a lot with John Hughes. John Hughes loved Edie McClurg. So she is the woman in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles who is working the counter at the car rental place when he is having his epic meltdown and she says, well, sounds like you're fucked. That is Edie McClurg. She's also in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She says, they think he's a righteous dude. That's her.
Yeah.
And she is in Carrie, and I was today years old. But she's got these giant glasses, and she's just a little baby. But they're panning across the faces, and I was like, I know that woman.
You also knew Sue. She's been in a lot of other things you've seen.
Yeah, Amy Irving is her name, and
Yeah.
she's in a lot of like 80s and 90s things. But I recognize her. If you look at her profile picture on IMDb, she's blonde now. And I was like, that's the one I know. Yeah. I know blonde Amy Irving.
Well, the only thing I really had here is just a quote, because I've seen this and I've heard this line, and I just think it's funny. Betsy, I can see your dirty pillows. Just the weirdest, creepiest thing that you could say to someone. Mother, they're called breasts. My God, wow. And I can't really think of another movie, off the top of my head anyway, that has depicted full frontal female nudity within the first minute of a movie. Holy shit.
Yeah, there were a lot of naked girls. And I get it. We were building to this is what's going on with Carrie.
Yeah.
But it's like slow motion and they're just running around like, ha, we're in the shower. Ha. Like,
yeah.
It was weird. Didn't like that.
Yeah, and maybe it was just the era and it was just expected if you were going to have a high school movie like this.
It's the thing in the 70s where we've ripped off the Band-Aid now and we're going to do as much and as often as we can. We're going to push this as far as possible.
We know we're going to get a rated R rating, so it's fine.
We're going for it.
Throw whatever it is that you can at the screen and you're going to have your eyes peeled to it. I read the thing about all the other extras who were getting naked in the movie didn't really want to do it at first, but then the director showed the rough cut of the scene with Carrie in the shower and what she had to do. After they saw that, they said, okay, yes, we will do this. But besides that, I don't really have anything else, Betsy. Did you have anything else to mention?
I have one closing thought. I mentioned Sissy Spacek was nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role.
Yeah. Piper
Laurie was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And I am once again imploring people to remember that Toni Collette was robbed for doing a horror performance in Hereditary. And there is precedent for doing these kind of nominations. So Academy, remember Demi Moore for The Substance.
We haven't even seen The Substance.
Even though I haven't seen it, the thing I have heard is the same thing I heard about Toni Collette in Hereditary. She needed to be nominated. She wasn't. We have an opportunity to get ahead of it. People are saying it is the best thing Demi Moore has ever done. It is a horror movie. It is body horror. There is precedent to do a horror acting nomination. So just fucking remember that when it's time to vote.
I said good day.
I said good day.
Yes, I was nodding my head through your entire speech. And yes, I agree.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All right. So I guess that's going to be the end of it. This is really good. I am very impressed. I like this one so much more than The Exorcist. And it's maybe because it's a little bit more down to earth and you don't need to explain the telekinesis, maybe. Like, if you are pushed and pushed and pushed your entire fucking life, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough to allow you to have these powers. I don't know.
I'm going to start repressing things.
All right.
It's going to be great. I just want to see if I can do it.
We will report back. I'm going to do my part and stressing out Betsy the rest of it until she gets these powers. Anyway, that's going to do it for Never Scream It, everybody.
This is a fun year. We did it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I think I'm starting to like horror.
I think so too.
And maybe we're picking the wrong movies and we're going to do something that's like really horrific and I will retract that statement.
Betsy, we are also cherry picking here and there about, hey, let's just go and watch the ones that people have talked about forever. And I know the ratio of hits and misses is a lot more skewed towards the misses in the horror genre. And that's fine for the people who like that stuff. I don't think we will ever become the horror people, but I have considered, and you all out there, tell us if you think this is a great idea. I've considered having Halloween in like fucking April.
Do a different series
Yeah.
later on.
Just like when people do Christmas in July, we might do Never Scream It in April. Who knows?
We might try it sometime, or just work more into the regular rotation.
Maybe. But yeah, tell us what you thought of this one. When did you first see Carrie? Are you repressing all of your trauma like Betsy's going to?
Is it working?
Is it working? Email us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. I am going to read an email here that Betsy and I have been waiting for months and months and months, maybe even years.
Arguably years.
I think it's probably been years because there's so many movies involved in the entire process. We received an email from your sister, Dr. Katie, about the entirety of the Fast and Furious series.
She did the thing we did. She watched all 11 movies.
11 movies.
Because when we did it, there were only 10, but then we did watch the next one. So she watched all of those movies, played the home game, and then listened to every single one of our episodes about those movies.
Yes, and we did those episodes the first year of our podcast.
The first 6 months.
Yes.
That was the first big
It
series
was the
we
first,
did.
yeah, it was the first real series we did after the initial Oscar run.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, here we go. Katie, I love you. She has 11 separate thoughts, not about each individual movie, I don't think.
Just a flow.
Just
of,
a flow,
of things.
just kind of some random thoughts that she had throughout the entirety of the series. This is not about one movie. This is about the entirety, by the way. Katie says, Fast series thoughts. Dear Never Seen It. Where do I begin? My brain is still in a fog after watching all 10. You're wrong, Katie. It's 11. All 11 Fast and Furious movies plus Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, there you go. She does not consider Hobbs and Shaw a
Valid.
Fast and Furious movie.
Fair.
That is fair. It took about 6 weeks to get through all of them, and that means many of them blend completely together. So I will not be offering a ranking, but I offer these 11 random thoughts in no particular order for individual movies in the series. Oh boy. Number 1. How does Dom always get his signature Challenger, parentheses, or a version of it, in every single country that he visits? I've had the same thought, Katie.
We wondered that every time, and he ruins it most of the time.
How is he able to get these vehicles in fucking Europe? Of all places, you just put it on a boat because you can't. I mean, I suppose you can put it on a plane. They do drive cars out of a plane. I know that much.
Or they have somehow sourced the only charger on the continent of Europe.
They've got people for that
They
stuff.
have people.
They do. Number 2. Why is Ava Mendes wet? Indeed. And why does she kiss Brian in that scene in Too Fast, Too Furious?
Oh, remember those days.
Oh, remember those
the
days.
simpler movies in this series.
Boy. Number 3. Roman speaks for us all. Can't tell you how many times he said exactly what I had in my mind or had just uttered while watching. Yeah, he is the voice of the people, voice of the audience.
By the time we get to 10, he sure is.
Yeah. Number 4. Space? What? That's all. That's number 4.
What?
Space? What? Number 5. An 18 to 27 mile long runway. Need I say more?
Well, there's more to that story if you finished watching number 10, but that's unresolved.
Yep.
So I won't go into it.
I don't think there's any. Okay, there is a spoiler down here in number 9. So
Okay.
keep an eye out for that one. If you haven't watched all the Fast and Furious movies, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go and do it. Spend your entire weekend. Don't take 6 weeks. Spend your entire next weekend doing it. Anyway, number 6. This is as what Betsy says. That's not how physics works. Not in the slightest. Parentheses, this references so many things, but the stunt that is in the forefront of my memory is the broken wooden bridge that still offers the ability to drive up vertically to safety. Of course.
That's not how physics
That's not
works.
how physics works. Number 7. The graphics in the first 3 movies were so off-putting, the quote, fast streaks of light bothered me to no end. Yeah, it's all the streaks coming off the cars indicating that they're going fast.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. We haven't watched the second Sonic movie yet. Maybe we should. Anyway, number 8. Stay-at-home dad Brian was not enough of a good explanation for his absence following Paul Walker's death. I think they should have written it in. That's an impossible one to really do.
You want to respect the character, but how do you make it work?
Yeah, because if you kill him on screen in any kind of way, that's going to be traumatic, not only for the cast, but the family and for the audience.
Yeah.
So you have to be sympathetic to that, I think, a little bit.
I think about Black Panther.
Yeah.
The second one of those, they didn't do it on screen, but I was a mess.
Yeah.
And that was just
even if they do it
barely
off screen,
in the movie.
Yeah, even if they did it off screen after 7, they bring everybody back for 8. They have a funeral for whatever the fuck happened to Brian, and end of storyline of Brian.
Yeah, it still would have hurt too much.
Yeah. But I agree, it's not satisfying. And here's the spoiler thing. Number 9. How can there be so many people that are dead but really aren't? Parentheses, spoiler for Fast X, Giselle is now alive? Yeah?
We don't know because they haven't given us 11 and it's been 2 years.
Betsy, she's a robot. She's a clone. What am I saying here?
We'll get some weird crossover to some other universe that'll explain it to us.
Yeah. Number 10. Bruh.
That's
it. That's it.
Bruh.
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 Breath. You got to have that at the end of it, the little breath. And finally, number 11. Boy, we're having fun here. Number 11. Yes, they are invincible.
Thank you.
Tej said it. They're
Thank you.
invincible. They cannot die.
I'm just saying, you just said it. Everyone who is dead is not dead. They have been doing that for years.
Yeah.
They are retconning the shit out of the Fast and Furious
John
series.
Cena will make his triumphant return in 11.
Yeah. As will anyone else who has died.
We're calling it now. Everybody's coming back. She finishes by saying, and there are more, parentheses, 1, 2 more to come. Better prepare myself for 2026. Sincerely, Dr. Katie in New York.
Thank you, Katie, for going through this whole
Thank you,
experience,
Katie.
for listening to all those episodes. Listeners, if you have not watched The Fast and the Furious, I want you to know something. These movies are not good. But they are also simultaneously the greatest movie franchise to ever exist.
I mentioned it a little bit ago. We covered those movies in their entirety early on in this podcast. And normally I would not recommend that you go back and listen to a bunch of the old episodes, but those are fucking gems.
We were finding our footing, and that was when we finally started having fun.
We had fun doing those fucking episodes, and every time somebody mentions to us that, hey, I'm listening to this old stuff, I go back and listen to that episode just to relive the magic, and I have a good time yet again.
So yeah, if we can recommend, yes, definitely go back and listen to old episodes.
Yeah.
It would be our series for the Fast and the Furious.
And this is us now after 330 some episodes we've done. We've got some perspective here on movies, I would like to say. But even after these hundreds and hundreds of movies we've covered, I still say that fucking series is maybe one of our best. And those movies are great. They're great. I don't care.
They're nonsense. They're so stupid.
It's
I
fun.
love them.
It's dumb fucking fun.
It's dumb fun. So thank you, Katie, for going through that whole experience and listening to all of those episodes and for writing in.
Yes, thank you. Be like Dr. Katie and write us at neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can also reach out to us on social media. Every link is in every episode description. We've mentioned it plenty of times already. We have a Patreon page where we have extra premium bonus content, 4 shows about movies, and a couple more that are just us fucking around. And that's just fun. It's just fun over there. Patreon.com/neverseenitpod. Don't do it in the Patreon app, by the way. If you're thinking about doing it, don't do it through the Patreon app because that charges you extra. Fuck Apple for charging you more for that stuff. Come on. Go to the website and you get access to all of our stuff. 10 months worth of stuff we have put out there. $5 a month gets you access to everything.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah. Okay. So Never Scream It is done. Next month is November. It's Thanksgiving month. What are we doing in November, Betsy?
Well, there is a highly anticipated movie coming out at the end of the month by a certain director. And so we decided that we are going to do our first ever director series.
Yeah, we are foregoing doing an actor series. We've done an actor series every year we've been doing this podcast, but this time we're going to do it a little bit different and cover a director that, especially me, I haven't seen a lot of his movies.
And of course, that director is Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott is the guy. So he has a very varied filmography.
Yes, we did Thelma and Louise earlier this year, but that is just scratching the surface. And I think we even talked about that when we did that episode.
Definitely.
So now is the time. We're going to be doing 4 Ridley Scott movies. The first one being Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, and included in this not only is Black Hawk Down, but a couple of other really big bangers here that I can't believe I've not watched at least one of them here. So stay tuned for the November slate of movies coming at you from your friends that never seen it. But until we get to next week, I want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks again for another great Never Scream It. We always had fun doing this. Come back to us next week for another episode of Never Seen It. Until then, my name's Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll catch you next week. Happy Halloween!